Okay, hi everyone. I'm Sarah Price. Very, very excited for all of you guys to be here. I just want you all to know that I prayed for this meeting today, just kind of throughout the day, and just prayed that I would be able to communicate effectively and that also you guys would just be encouraged and be uplifted, and that this would really be helpful to you. So this is, I'm going to have to maybe, I don't know, ask your forgiveness a little bit in advance. This is kind of a brand new training for me. I have not done this specific training before. It's a bit different than I would normally do. I based it on a YouTube video that I really, really love that has been super helpful to me that I've watched, I don't know, 2 or 3 times now. And then also a little bit on a book called GoPro by Eric Worre that has been awesome too. So if you've already seen the YouTube video and you've already read the book, then this might be super boring to you. So sorry for that. And then I also just have some notes because this is not off, like out of my own brain. So I'm going to probably be looking away a lot. So just bear with me. All right. Let me, here. Let me share my screen with you. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. We're going to jump in. Okay, so we're going to talk about, and also I'm in my bedroom. My husband's having a guys' night, so I'm banished to my bedroom. So anyway, we're going to talk about how to grow your business by reaching out and following up. So this is really, this is the bread and butter of your business. Posting on Facebook is super important, of course. But if all you ever did was post on Facebook, you wouldn't get very far. This is what is really going to grow your business. And unfortunately, it's, it doesn't come natural to a lot of us. Jorn might say differently. She's a cold message queen. But, for a lot of us, it's a little bit uncomfortable, and it's something that we are reluctant and hesitant to do. But if you're serious about growing your business, if you're serious about being successful, then you will, you will serve yourself well to study how to do this and to do this well and to do it effectively. Now, having said that, I'm not claiming to be an expert on this at all. I know that I have a lot of growing to do. Oops, sorry. I know that I have a lot of growing to do, but hopefully the information that I have gleaned from other people will be really helpful to you. Okay, so if you have watched the YouTube video, How to Reach Out Authentically, I don't remember what her name is. That's awful. But a lot of this is from her video. Tons and tons and tons of good information in there. So if you haven't already seen that, I would encourage you to watch that. You will hear some of the same stuff, but there's no way I'm going to say it as good as she does. She's I wish I knew her name. But anyway, she's an Emerald Ambassador on another team. And she just has tons of good, just really natural ways to reach out to people. So I want to talk about, or I want you guys to think about, think back to what first attracted you to Plexus. Think about your sponsor. Think about what they posted, how they posted. Maybe they were really genuine. Maybe they weren't so genuine. There may be good things that you liked about it, and there may be things that were a little bit of a turnoff for you. But I want you to think back to that and just think about how you can emulate the things that you did like. and also how you can avoid doing the things that maybe you didn't like if there were, those things. I'll tell you a little bit about my experience. So my sponsor is my sister-in-law. She had heard about the product. She had a bunch of friends who had jumped on board and were making crazy money. And she was super curious about it and really intrigued. And my mom, she lived in Dallas at the time. My mom happened to be out there visiting her, and my mom is a veteran MLM-er, if that's a word. I grew up with my mom. I mean, she did really well with the MLM that she did. So she took my mom along to check out the business side, and she checked out the products, and they both checked out. And so she knew that I had struggled with digestive issues that I just couldn't get a handle on. And so she was really excited about the business side of it. She immediately said, like, oh my gosh, my friend made $400 her first month. Like, this is insane. So she was really excited about the business and the products. And she was bold, she was willing to tell me about like this crazy new MLM company, and, was inviting me to join her. So, from that, I have had a good example of just what being bold and being excited looks like. So, and I want you to think about, what do you have to lose in this? I know a lot of us feel really self-conscious about reaching out, but honestly, if you're reaching out and you're being authentic to who you are, you're building relationships. We're going to talk a lot about that. This business is not about getting a sale. It's not. It's about building relationships with people, and that's how you're going to be successful. So just be confident in who you are. That you love your friends and you love your family, and you're not out just to make money off of them, that you genuinely want the best for them and want them to be healthy and want them to be blessed by this business. So have confidence in that. Know who you are, and what do you have to lose? They might say no. There's a chance they might say no, and if they know you, they aren't. They know you, so they aren't going to feel like you're just trying to sell them something. So just think about that. What do you have to lose? When you're reaching out to people, it's pretty typical to get about a 1 in 10 response. So just know that you'll get a lot of crickets, and that's good. A lot of people will say, like, you want to go for the no's, because if you're going for the no, you're that much closer to a yes. And if you've gotten a no, at least it's an answer, and you're able to move on from that. So, and don't always take no for an answer. Timing is everything in this business. And I'm probably getting way ahead of myself. I think that's on my last slide. So I'm not going to get into timing right now. Okay. So when you are reaching out to people, and we're talking about cold messaging, when you are reaching out to people, I wish I had known all of this stuff when I first started. I feel like my business would have been so much different. A lot of us think when we're sending out that first message that this is it. This is our one shot to get our message out. And that's just not true. If that's kind of how you think, I want you to shift your mind frame a little bit. Think about your first reach out as just opening the door to a conversation. Not, your goal isn't to get them to say yes, to the products or the business. Your goal is just to open a door, open that line of communication with whoever you're reaching out to. So you don't need to make that first message about Plexus. I think for me personally, I feel, if we're talking about reaching out authentically, for me, I feel like in order to be authentic to myself, I really have to build a relationship first. I have to ask people their opinion on something that has nothing to do with Plexus, you know, or just find some other way to reconnect with someone. If it's someone I haven't talked to in a long time, then, you know, I just feel like that is a much more effective way to begin the conversation. So don't feel like you need to make your invitation your presentation. Your first message doesn't have to be, do you want to try the product? You know, it can be something completely unrelated to Plexus. And by doing that, you know, you're showing them that you care about them, that you're interested in establishing a relationship with them, and that you're not just interested in a sale. And I think people are much more likely to respond to you if you've already have them in a conversation. This is what I found personally. If you already have them in a conversation about something else, and Plexus a lot of times just comes up naturally, they're much more likely to send you that message back when you do ask them about Plexus, because you've already been talking back and forth. Sorry, I'm just looking at, where am I on my notes here? Okay, so you want to make yourself a safe person and show them that you're more interested in them than a sale. Here's what I'll say about Facebook Messenger. Unfortunately, I feel like it's the least effective way to reach out to people, which stinks because it's the most widely available. You can get in touch with the most people through that avenue, but face-to-face is always going to be more effective. If you have anyone that you live close to that you can be face-to-face with, always choose that. And this is really hard for me. I am a big introvert. I don't make new friends very easily. I don't want to go out of my comfort zone and invite people to play dates because I'm afraid they're going to say no, or, you know, something like that. So this is something that has been really, really hard for me. So I know that, you know, this is something that may not come natural to you. And if it is, you are lucky. You're very lucky. You're a step ahead. But I think if we're talking about levels of effectiveness, face-to-face is hands down most effective. If you can get someone on the phone, that's also really great. And Facebook Messenger, I think, obviously, that's what a lot of us are going to use because, like I said, that's just, we don't have everyone's phone number. We don't live close to everyone, so that's just realistic. That's what we have to do. I remember at a convention in, this was even in Vegas. So this was just this past summer. I was in the gold and senior gold training. If Chris is still on, she'll remember this. But it was one of the diamonds. Gosh, I'm horrible with names. I don't remember her name. Maybe it was, I don't know. It doesn't matter. But anyway, she talked about using Facebook voice message. And she was saying, you know, it limits you to 1 minute. So you can't just vomit Plexus. It's really, really, really hard to keep to 1 minute. If you've ever tried, I probably spent like 10 minutes timing myself today trying to get one message into 1 minute to this girl that I was trying to reach out to. Anyway, really hard, but it works to your advantage because you don't want to make those messages super long. People are really intrigued, you know, like, what? Oh, she said, what did she have to say? And they just feel a little more obligated to respond if you've reached out through a voice message. So anyway, when she said this, like, yeah, this is what I do. It's really quick. I just send it out and I've had really great success with it. I was like, heck no, I'm never, ever doing that. Oh my gosh, forget it. But I just realized, yeah, it is way more effective. So if you have to use Facebook Messenger, which, yeah, we do, try the voice message. It's going to be awkward at first, and you can practice. I get my timer out on my phone, my stopwatch, and I practice probably 15 times before I actually send it because you can't, you can move your finger off the record button, but it's like there's no preview. You can't preview. It's just out there. So practice first, but get out of your comfort zone and do those things because they're just more effective. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so when we're talking about being, face to face, or even a phone call with someone, it's really important to not surprise them with Plexus. And if you have other people that that have been approached by people in network marketing, a lot of times people do this. This is their strategy. They say like, "Hey, do you want to get together? Do you want to go out to dinner?" And it's not a friends having dinner. It's literally a like whiteboard, like chalk or marker presentation. And that's not what they said yes to. They didn't say, "Yes, I'll go hear your pitch." They said, "Yes, I'll have coffee with you, or I'll go to lunch with you." And so, if you're surprising people with Plexus, it's going to be a really big turnoff to them. So, and it's okay to be upfront with people and say like, I want to talk to you about Plexus. That's fine. That's not a bad thing to do. But if that's your purpose of getting together with them, and if that's your plan, then you just want to make sure that they know that, so that they aren't like, "Oh, you don't really want to hang out with me. You just want to give me your sales pitch." So I don't know about you guys, but I love when people tell me what to say. So I just literally word for word copied these from that YouTube video. And I'm so sorry that I don't know her name. Maybe I don't know, if someone's on here, they can remember. But so here's a couple examples that she gives. She just says, if you're wanting to let someone know you want to talk to them about Plexus. "Hey girl, I'm sure you've seen my Plexus posts, and I'm so curious to know what your impressions are. If you have any thoughts, if your interest has been piqued, I'm looking for honest feedback from friends and family. Since this is a new venture for me, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Can we get together soon? Even if you end up not being interested at all, it's a huge help to me to practice sharing what I love about it." About why I love it, sorry. What do you say? Will you be my focus group? I'll even bring you a free sample. So what I love about this is that it's really disarming. You're asking for honest feedback, and you are just saying, "Can I practice on you?" And everyone loves to help you out. So this is just a great way to have it not be a lot of pressure. And I'll bring your free sample. Samples are big. They're very helpful. So, and you're kind of saying like, "Hey, if you do this for me, I'll do something for you." So it's a little bit of a give and take. So I just really think that that's just overall a really just a really casual way to bring it up to someone. And here's another example that she said in her video. So she says, "Hey friend, I've been in prayer over who to share Plexus with. I'm sure you've seen me share about it on Facebook, and your name keeps coming to my mind. Would you be willing to hear a little more about what I do? You may or may not be interested, but I'd love to get on the phone for 15 minutes and share with you what I love about it. If it could bless you like it's blessed me, I'd be so glad." Again, it's short and simple and to the point, and you say you may or may not be interested, and that's I feel like it's just a good no pressure way to invite someone to hear a little bit more about what you're doing. So if you're on a phone, you might, I don't know, if it were me and I was on a phone and I'd never heard this before, I would screenshot it because I love copying and pasting. I love stealing other people's thoughts, obviously. So let's talk about some do's and don'ts. Confidence is huge. And I know if you're just starting out, this can be hard. It can be hard because you don't have a lot of experience. You may not feel like you have an amazing health testimony or an amazing financial testimony. But you guys have to know that this business is incredible. this comp plan is unlike anything else out there. And I know you probably have heard that a ton, but it's true. It's it's true. It really, really is. It's insane that we get paid on our own products. It's insane that it takes one order of the triplex to get us qualified for commissions. I mean, if you look at other comp plans out there, it's just great. I feel like they're not fair. Like, how are you signing up for this? Like, this is just too much. It's too hard. So just know that we have a great comp plan, and that our products really, really are changing lives. And if you're struggling with belief, I would encourage you to get on Plexus Journeys Facebook page. You have to have someone add you if you aren't already on there. So I think your upline is probably on there. But if you can't get on there, you can message me and I can add you. But yeah, so get on the Plexus Journeys. It's a ambassador only testimony page. And you guys, the stories on there are incredible. They're just amazing. So after reading those, you're gonna be filled with belief. So because we have such a great company, you don't need to apologize for talking to people about Plexus. You don't need to apologize for wanting people to feel better and to stop struggling with health issues and financial troubles. So don't feel guilty for reaching out to people, because it's genuinely coming from your heart, because you care about them. So I definitely can say that I have used all of these in cold messages at one time or another before I listened to this YouTube video, which I wish I could go back. Like I said, I wish I had known all of this stuff when I was just starting out. But yeah, don't try. Avoid saying just. If you say just, it automatically, whatever you're talking about, it automatically kind of just, I can't think of a good word for it, but it makes it feel like, you're a little bit timid, and like, it's just not, it's not confidence building. If just wondering if, like, oh no, I don't want to pressure you. No pressure at all. I think, we're not pressuring them. We're not pressuring them. So we don't need to feel like we are. And when you're saying stuff like that, you're almost putting the idea in their head that you are pressuring them, or, that I just wondered if, that doesn't exude confidence. Or saying like, I'm sure you're probably so sick of seeing my Plexus posts, or you're probably so sick of hearing about Plexus, but again, it's just not confident. So when you're reaching out to people, definitely avoid using those phrases. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. So, and then she talks about smiling, that people are just naturally attracted to people who smile, and they trust people who smile. If you're smiling, you are excited and you're happy and you're fun to be around. So just think about that a lot when you're talking to people too. And then, like I mentioned before, when we were talking about voice messages, practice. Practice your, if you're going to do your voice messages, practice. Or if you are, with someone, a lot of times you'll get like, what is Plexus? So practice your answer to that, because when you're out and about, you're going to hear that. If you're, on your coffee dates, your play dates, whatever, and it comes up, you want to be prepared for that, and, have a short 5-sentence or so answer to that. So, and when you practice, you become confident. So that's just really, really helpful for you when you're talking about Plexus and when you're reaching out to people about Plexus. So another thing she said that I thought was really awesome is she talks about being vulnerable while being confident. And again, I love a script. So here's a couple examples for you guys. So something like, I have to confess, I've been a little intimidated to reach out to you, but since I truly believe it can bless you, I've been praying for courage. Have you given any thought to trying Plexus? Super short, super simple, and it kind of, when you tell someone you've been intimidated, it's sort of, it's endearing, because it's flattering. You're flattering them, saying that you think they're important and you're a little bit afraid of, of how they're going to react. And so I just love that, that little script there. And then this is one that I kind of used today. I changed it up a little bit, but for some reason I've been scared to death to ask you about this. Isn't that so silly? The truth is, I think of you as a very influential and inspirational person, so your opinion matters a lot to me, and I guess that's why I've been hesitant. But anyway, I just can't stop thinking about how amazing you would do in Plexus. Would you mind sharing with me if you've ever given it any thought? And what I really love about that one too is that you're just asking for their thoughts. You're not asking if they want to join you. You're not asking if they want to try the products. You're just asking for their thoughts, and it gives them, it helps them feel comfortable to be honest with you, and it gets that conversation going. And you can, respond. Maybe they're going to say like, "Yeah, I have thought about it, but I'm not sure about this thing," or "No, I've never thought about it," or it gives you kind of a direction to take your conversation. Let's see, I think I got ahead of myself on my notes here. Okay, there we go. Okay. So along with confidence, I think, belief and confidence really do go hand in hand. Like I said, you have to believe in the products and how they work, and you have to believe in the compensation plan. And, when you're talking to people about Plexus, if you lead with your belief, that's really powerful. If you say, I know that we have the best products out there. I know that our compensation plan is incredibly generous. Then that really is, it's powerful. It builds belief in other people. So, think about leading with your belief in the company and the products. So another couple lines that I love from that video is she says, "I believe in honest feedback. I promise I can handle it." You're just literally telling them, like, be honest. Because some people, I think a lot of people feel like you're going to take it personally if they say they're not interested, or if, maybe they tried a sample and they didn't feel like it did anything for them. I think sometimes people think you're going to take that personally. And this isn't personal. This isn't our home-cooked dinner. Like, we didn't make these products. These products aren't our babies. So, we shouldn't be taking these things personal. Just inviting people to give you honest feedback and saying that you promise you can handle it. Have you ever been approached about it before? What have your impressions been? Again, I feel like it's a very general statement. You're not asking them to join your team. There's no sales pitch there. There's no pressure. It's just asking them their thoughts. Bring your skepticism. I'm an open book, because a lot of people are skeptics. I mean, some of the stories are crazy, and some of the money that people are making is crazy. So I think it's really natural, and MLMs just have a horrible rap, so it's definitely natural for people to be a skeptic. And so by inviting people to share their skepticism with you, you're able to have an honest discussion about how our company is different, or how our products are different. So I really, really loved those two. Okay, so this is a key thing. I touched on it a little bit, but you always want to keep your responses short. People get a little bit overwhelmed if you are giving them a ton of product information. And a lot of times they aren't asking for a ton of product information. We just, for whatever reason, we just feel like we need to get that out there because we do understand them, and that, and so we feel like we need to, like everyone else needs to understand it too. And a lot of times people aren't interested in knowing how the products work. They really aren't. They just want to know if it's going to work for them. So they don't want to know all the science behind it. So yeah, try to keep your responses short, 5 sentences, 3 to 5 sentences. Your goal is to keep the back and forth going. You want to keep the conversation going. So it's always great to end with a question. I always try to end with a question when I'm talking to someone or sending someone a message, because then that leaves it open-ended. There's something for them to respond to. If you're just saying like, let me know if you have any questions, then or let me know what you think, then the ball is 100% in their court. And then it's an awkward situation when they haven't gotten back to you. You're having to try to like come up with a reason to message them or to to text them back or something again. And it's just hard and it's awkward. So if you're ending with a question, then that's inviting them to respond to you, and you're able to keep that conversation going. And, in conversations, people will end up sharing a little bit of their why, whether it's health issues, whether they're exhausted, whether they have some autoimmune diseases, whether, they are struggling to make ends meet. So keep your ears open, listen to when people are talking. This can be hard sometimes, but genuinely listen when people are talking. And, try hard not to think about what your agenda is in that conversation. So, try to not just be focused on, you wanting to share Plexus with them, but just be focused on building that friendship with them, that relationship with them. And then, everything else will flow naturally, so much more naturally and so much more genuinely out of that. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, ask questions. Ask a lot of questions. People have to talk about themselves. It's true. So, when people think about it, when someone asks you a lot of questions about yourself, you're like, oh, I really like that. Like, we had a really good conversation. It just shows people that you're interested in them, and so ask questions, and listen to their answers and show empathy. If they're talking about something they're struggling with, or if they had a hard day, even like, I'm so sorry, what was that like? Or like, oh my gosh, that must have been so hard for you. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that, or that you had to deal with that. But just be nice. Yeah, and like I said before, only answer the questions that they ask. If if they ask, this one really got me. So the example she gave in her video was when someone asks how much it costs. I think we have been trained to say like, well, there's 3 ways to buy. You can buy retail, which is the most expensive. You can buy preferred, or you can buy, that's cheaper, or you can go the ambassador route, which is the cheapest. And that's a lot of information. Like, to us, it totally makes sense because we know about all that, about all that stuff. But to someone who has never heard retail or preferred or ambassador before, they're like, wait, what? Oh, you lost me. Wait, huh? So she said what she does, which I love, was she said she just sends them a price list and just says like, here's our price list. Have I told you how to get the best price? And then she ends with a question, and then that conversation can keep going, and they can decide for themselves, what they want to do. And so I feel like that's a really, really effective and also just a simple way to answer that question, because you're going to get that. Eventually, eventually you're going to get to a point where they're going to ask you how much it is. It's just inevitable. So I loved that, that strategy. Alrighty, what else do I have here? Okay. So now we're going to talk about following up. So this is the part that I kind of took from the book GoPro. I thought these were really, really, really helpful tips. So if you haven't read that book, you really, really need to. It's just super practical. It's short. It's an easy read. I listened to it in an audiobook, and I actually wish that I had bought a hard copy because I would have totally marked it all up. So yeah, definitely get that book. It's really, really helpful. It'll change your business for sure. So when he talks about, in his chapter, when he talks about following up, he says that the goal, like we've kind of already talked about, your goal is to keep the conversation going until you get an answer. So that might take several Facebook messages. Typically it's going to. I think the statistic is like most sales happen between the 8th and 12th contact or something like that. So, you know, I think that's definitely the norm, is to have a lot of back and forth. So expect that and be prepared for that. So you, like we talked about before, always want to end with a question, something like, does this sound like something you would like to try? Or, you know, are you ready to get started? You know, your goal with talking to them is to keep it going. And, you know, a lot of times you'll hear like, okay, I just, you know, I need to think about it, or I need to talk to my husband, or, you know, I need to wait till payday or something like that. And, you know, tell them, okay, sure, that's great. I think you're a smart, you know, you're a smart person. That's a great idea. When do you think you would be able to do that? Just so I know when to follow back up with you. You want to get a specific date from them. So, you know, you can even say, like, if they're saying, you know, I need to talk to my husband, like, okay, well, you know, do you think you would be able to do that by Monday? You know, give them the weekend or something like that. Like, would it be okay if I checked back in with you on Monday? Would you have been able to talk to him? And if they say yes, then great. They've already agreed to you following up with them. So you don't have to feel bad about sending them a message on Monday. You don't have to feel like you're bugging them, you know, because you already have told them you're going to do it. So you're just doing what you said you were going to do. So you always want to try to get them in a time frame and set up that specific time for your next interaction or your next message or text or phone call or whatever it is. That way it's not just hanging out there and you are like, oh gosh, I don't know when to talk to them. Like, you know, it's just, there's no awkwardness there. Everybody's on the same page. Okay, yeah. And so when you're talking, when you're having these conversations, they're just naturally going to build your relationship. So like I said, yeah, you're just doing what you said you're going to do. Another awesome thing I thought he said that he said was that you want to keep these interactions close together. You know, if you talk to someone and then wait a week and talk to them again, and then wait a week and talk to them again, because it's probably going to take, like we were saying, it's probably going to take several interactions for them to decide to jump on board. If you can space them close together, then you really can build on excitement, whether you're talking to them about products or business. If those interactions are spaced close together, then you'll be able to build off that excitement. If you're waiting a week or 2 weeks, they have got a ton of stuff going on and they've completely forgot about, you know, everything you've talked about. So it really does help kind of build momentum if you can, you know, if you can get those conversations close together. So you're obviously going to get objections. That's just something that is common. That's just something that we have to have to learn how to deal with. So this is, I always feel so silly talking about this because from when my mom, so I was like in junior high and high school when my mom was doing her MLM business. She did candles. So, and we always used to make fun of her for doing the feel, felt, found. We just, like, we still to this day, just kind of, it's a joke. And my family, like, yeah, it's the feel, felt, found speech. Like, so I always feel silly talking about this, but it works. So we're going to talk about it. When you get objections, and you will, people will say, you know, I don't want to sell anything. You know, I am nervous about, you know, multi-level marketing, or, you know, whatever the objection is. This is a really, really great way to address that. And all you have to say is, I know how you, okay, so let's use the example of, like, I don't want to sell anything to anyone. Okay, so what you would say is, I know how you feel. I felt the exact same way. When I first, you know, was starting this business, I did not want to be selling stuff to my friends and family. I am a horrible salesperson. I could not sell anything to anyone. But when I got, you know, when I did my research and jumped in and got involved in Plexus, I realized that that's not what we're about at all. We're not about selling. We are about building relationships. Relationships are the core of our business. So you're basically just breaking down that objection, and you're also identifying with them, because a lot of us have felt those same things. You know, we've dealt with those. So it's a way to break that objection down, and to also just let them know that you have felt that way, that you totally understand what they're saying, you identify with them, but, you know, this is how it actually is. Okay, so another thing that I thought was really awesome that he talked about in the book was, he said that a lot of times objections from people come from either a lack of belief in themselves or a lack of belief in network marketing. And I think that kind of puts us in a really good position, because I don't know about you, but I love to build people up. I love to tell people, you know, how great I think they would do at this business, and how, you know, I know that they would love to help people, how I know that they just have a big heart, and they have an amazing, you know, network of friends. And I also love telling people why Plexus is awesome, why the company is awesome. So I think, you know, knowing that people have a lack of belief in themselves or a lack of belief in network marketing, I think if we, you know, can keep that in mind, that puts us in a really good position to encourage people, and you know, help them to see things a little bit differently. Yeah, so you know, when you do get to the point that someone is ready to sign up, definitely be ready to sign them up, like, on the spot, whether that is over the phone, or I think a lot of times it's probably going to be over the phone. Sometimes you'll be out with someone if you've had, like, a specific meeting with them or something, but I'll just be honest. They've made changes to our mobile site, which is awesome. So it's definitely more navigable. I'm pretty sure that's a word. Jordan, English major, navigable. Okay, she says good. Yeah, so that's a lot easier. But again, it's kind of like okay, let me know if you have any questions, you know, and you're just sort of waiting for them, like, okay, they said they were going to order, but they haven't, and now it's awkward, and I have to ask them, like, why they haven't ordered. So, or signed up for that matter. So always try to get someone on the phone, and you can just say to them, like, hey, yeah, you know, I'm so excited that you're wanting to try the products, or that you're going to jump on board with our team. you know, let me get you on the phone and I'll walk you through everything. And that way, you know that they're going to set a time to do it with you. So you know that it's going to be done. And another thing I'll say about this, this is especially important for signing people up for the business, whether it's wholesale or someone who actually is going to work the business, because of backup orders. A lot of times when you leave someone to sign up on their own, they don't set their backup order. And that is just not the way we want people to get started out. I think some people either don't know what it is or a little afraid of it. So if we're able to be on the phone with them and just kind of say like, okay, this is a part where we're going to set up your personal order, you know, what products do you want every month? Then they're going to have it on, and you're not going to have to backtrack and try to get in touch with them to get them to turn it on. It's just really hard if you're trying to get in touch with someone to turn it back on, and then you feel awkward, like, I know, like, you know, can you turn your backup order on? Like, there just is no easy, you know, way to say that. So, yeah, so just be ready to sign people up on the spot. I mean, it'll only take you 10 or 15 minutes, so hop on the phone with them if at all possible. And sometimes you'll get people who just do it and you didn't know they were going to do it, and that's good. That happens. And then last thing I will say is that timing is everything. And that's something I learned from my mom for sure. She got started with candles because my just kind of a random thing happened, and they were needing to make about $400 extra a month. They were about $400 short in their budget, and her good friend had just started selling candles, and she said that, you know, if her friend had asked her a month before, she would have said no. But because, you know, it was the right time, she was looking for something to replace that income, she said yes. And she did it for 10 years and did incredible and went on awesome trips. And, you know, so, and even if someone tells you no, you know, no, I'm not really interested right now, then it's totally fine for you to say like, okay, yeah, I totally understand that. But I do know things change. Would it be okay if I check back with you in 6 months? Because things do change, you know, people, their finances change, they have to move, they, you know, aren't able to do work that they were able to do, or you just never know what's going to happen in 6 months. So just because someone says no, don't cross them off your list forever. Unless they tell you, I mean, if they give you a hard no, then you can go ahead and cross them off, because but, you know, if they say, I'm not interested right now, or that's not something that I can, you know, fit into my life, I'm just too busy right now, then definitely, you know, ask them if they can, or if you can check back with them. But yeah, you know, just know that timing is everything. Don't be discouraged because someone says no. So many people at the top of our company have said no. So many of them have said no multiple times. So just know that just because someone says no doesn't mean that they're not going to say yes later. So that is all I have for you guys. I really hope that was succinct and made sense. I don't know. I'm not sure if it did or not, but hopefully those little kind of phrases and scripts helped you guys out a lot. I love stuff like that because I'm just not good at thinking of stuff to say like that. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, you can stick them up in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. I am going to, I forgot to do this before, but I'm going to pull up a little random name drawer so that I can give something away. So I'm going to give you a minute to think about questions or type questions in the chat, and then I'm going to pull up that little name drawer. So I'm going to stop sharing for a sec. You can ask questions about anything. It doesn't have to be specifically about this either.
Okay, I have one. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Okay. Hold on. You were talking about in the GoPro book how he talks about like trying to follow up quickly and kind of keeping the momentum going. How do you do that without sort of feeling like you're bugging people? Like I follow up and then I usually am like, okay, if I don't hear from them, I need to wait like a week because I don't want to just be like bombarding them.
Yeah, so I was talking more about like when you have someone engaged in a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And they say like, okay, I just need to look at your website, or I need to talk to my husband, or wait for payday, or something like that. When you've already started that conversation and talked to them a little bit about products or business, then that's kind of when you want to keep, you've been able to share information with them, so you want to keep that excitement and that momentum going. As far as like people who don't answer you, like just kind of ignore you, I don't know if anyone else has a good strategy for that. I really honestly have not figured a good one out. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I want to say like, if I don't, I know life gets busy, so if I don't hear back from you, this week, then I'll check back in with you. Or I sometimes I try to sort of blame it on myself, like, I'm just trying to keep myself organized and, don't want to let you like slip through the cracks or something like that. But honestly, crickets are just,
Yeah. I was watching a call or a training or something from Ellen not too long ago. And she said with her like total cold messages, she usually waits like a week.
mm-hmm.
And then if she doesn't hear anything, she'll put them on a list for like 3 months out or something like that. So I don't, that's a tough one. But yeah, actually my question really was more about people that I am engaged with and that I'm having a conversation with, and they just end up like falling off the face of the earth, even when I'm trying to end with a question and even when I'm trying to keep the conversation going. So I don't really know.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple of things I have heard that some has worked well for me sometimes is asking them like, I know I know you have been interested in Plexus before, or I know you were ready to purchase, but I'm sure life. I know life gets busy, like, or something. Can I ask you? Basically, you're going to ask them like, what's holding you back? Can I ask you what is holding you back? And then I've heard, this was actually at Leaders Retreat, and then Tanya, you may have, I don't know, maybe you didn't go to that extra training. I don't know. I think it was just for our team. Okay. So another thing, they had like a diamond panel, and they asked one of the diamonds this specific question. And she said another thing that she says too is, if it's someone she really is having a hard time getting a hold of or getting to respond to her, she'll say like, I know you've been interested in the past, but like maybe is Krista still on here? I don't know. She said something to the effect like, you're basically taking the Krista, if you can remember, you can unmute yourself. But she basically said like, you're taking the opportunity away from them. You're saying like, I know I'm going to go ahead and take you off my list because I'm not sure that you're interested anymore. And so she said sometimes that will make people be like, oh wait, no, I am. So those are two things that that I've tried to start using. I do think what is holding you back, I think that's helpful.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But then it's like, yeah, if you say like, oh, I'm just going to take you off my list, then you have to do it. So,
Right. Right.
a little bit like, ah. So I don't know. But then I feel like it's okay for you to check back with those people in 6 months or 9 months or, um, so, Krista Casey, yes, Krista Casey, that's who did this YouTube video that I'm literally copying word for word. So, watch her video. I'm sure it'll be way better than this one. So, Monique, I'm going to answer Monique's question. She says, hey, I was wondering if you could send the responses to the question. Yeah, Monique, let's see. Monique DeHaan. I don't see your last name. Monique, why don't you send me, okay, yes. Why don't you send me a message on Facebook and I'll copy and paste them to you in there. If anyone else wants me to copy and paste it to them, then yeah, just send me a message and I'll be happy to do that. Okay, so I'll tell you our winner and then I'll give you time for more questions. Like, Dixie wins everything. So I'm gonna get in touch with you, Dixie, because I just want to make sure that I'm not giving you something you already have. So
Woohoo!
good job.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I'll send you a message. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe a water bottle or a shirt or I don't know. They have some fun stuff back. I don't know if you guys have seen, but they have some fun stuff in my Plexus print. They finally have like shirts and all that fun stuff back in there. So yeah, we'll get in touch. I'll get you something fun. Okay, anyone else? Can you guys see me? My face right now? Yeah, okay. Okay. I just can't see my face, so I just didn't know. Does anyone else have any questions about reaching out or following up or just about anything in general? I'm here to help. I love to help. Oh, Monique. Okay.
I have a question
Yeah.
about like cold calling friends and their friends that I can't meet up with because they're far away.
Yeah.
And I am really good friends with them, and like I do talk to them on a regular basis. But how do you like bring it up to somebody that just like point blank, like I've just started kind of like this business, and I'm like I feel like I'm in a I get my words all twisted, and I'm like I don't even know how to say it, but I want to bring it up to them. Like what do you usually, what's your go-to line?
Yeah, maybe someone else can chime in on this too. I just really like, I find that I have to look, like I have to just look for a reason to bring it up, because if I definitely for sure when I was first starting out just felt, I mean, it's an MLM and you maybe sometimes feel a little bit embarrassed about it. So I feel like I have to look for reasons to bring it up. Like if someone asks me how my week was, I'm going to say something about, if it's someone that I have been wanting to bring Plexus up to, I'm going to say something about like, about something exciting that happened that week. It's been really fun. I've been getting in touch with some old friends, I've been, doing Plexus, and it's been really fun to reconnect with some old friends. Or if someone asks you how you're doing, if you you can say like, actually, like I'm doing really great. I'm feeling awesome. I'm taking these, I don't know if you've ever heard of Plexus, but I've been taking some of their products and I really love them. They have helped a ton with my energy and I'm sleeping so great. And, something like that. I don't know. Does anyone else have any go-to things that they say? Let's see.
what you're saying, I think, is really right on with kind of letting a door open up. I've had a couple times when people have asked me, kind of on cold calls, where I'll just do a conversation, just like you're mentioning, and just wait for a door to open. And inevitably, they're going to say they're tired, or something about finances, or something about their health, which is going to open a door potentially, so I can say, oh my gosh, I can totally relate. I used to be so tired too. So thankful for Plexus. And I usually just leave it hanging then and make them, oh, what's that? That's been really effective lately for me.
I love that. That's awesome.
So what is your response when someone says to you, like, point blank, what is Plexus? Like, what is your like, you said your 2-minute line or whatever, 30-second elevator speech.
Elevator speech, yes. You got the lingo, that's awesome. Yeah, so I just say, like, Plexus is a health and wellness company. They have supplements that address everything from, get to the root cause of issues. They address everything from, gut health to blood sugar to, pain and inflammation. And they also have a really amazing business opportunity. And then I would just say, like, has anyone ever shared Plexus with you? And that also, asking that question also, because it's important to make sure that we are not, that if someone has been sharing Plexus with them, that, they need to go back to that initial person. Because sometimes, it'll happen every once in a while that you, or it might happen to you that, someone that you've been in conversation with and have really been working with ends up ordering or signing up with someone else. So that kind of opens the door for, have they ever heard of it? And also, has anyone else ever, talked to them about it? So kind of does two things. If someone else has I feel like that's a pretty generic one. If someone else has a great elevator speech, I'd love to hear it. Anybody? Anyone have any more questions?
What is your guys' response to when someone says, what is Slim?
Yeah, I would just say it's like a stick of powder that you pour into water and shake it up and drink it. I say, it's really great for balancing your blood sugar and promoting, healthy cholesterol and lipids. I make sure to say, like, it's not a diet, it's not a meal replacement, and then maybe say one thing of, one reason why you love it, or one way that it has helped you. Whether it's, energy or sleep or cravings or appetite or something like that. And then maybe say, like, what about it has interested you? Or, if you're because you're always wanting to end with a question or, like, something like that. Okay, Crystal says, what if you've been talking to someone constantly but see that they are engaged with another ambassador now? Ooh, what do you do about it? Okay, so Crystal, I'm assuming you were talking to them. Do you know for sure that you were talking to them first?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So, you know how I told you about I was doing the local contests and stuff?
Yes.
So there's been a couple people that I talk to, like, consistently. And I just kind of stopped. I constantly talk to them probably about a couple times a week or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized in the last Merchant Monday that they're actually engaging with other ambassadors. And I'm kind of like, okay, well, what do I do?
Yeah,
What would you think?
I would say something like, and maybe again, someone else can chime in on this. I would say something like, "Hey, I noticed, you were talking to so and so. I just like in Plexus, we're really careful to not step on each other's toes. Um, so I have to ask, were you talking to them before I started sharing Plexus with you? Because if that's the case, I want to encourage you to go back to whoever you were talking to first, and wait and see what they say. Because, then you're kind of sort of telling them what the rules are, and then also, saying like, oh, maybe, sorry, was it my bad? Oops. And if it is, then by all means, go and work with that other person. But if someone else has, if someone else has a good answer to that too, I'd love to hear it. I've never had to deal with that. I don't really know, outside of our team, I don't really know a whole lot of people who do. Any other questions or comments? I love questions. I usually don't get questions. This is fun. Okay.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hopefully that helps. And yeah, it's just tough because, yeah, I mean, everyone really, 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 and this is, a lesson for all of us too, because it's easy to forget, but we really always should be asking, just to make sure. And that's why I feel like, has anyone ever shared Plexus with you? I feel like that's a really good door opener, and also just a good way to know if they've been working with someone else. So yeah, and it's just good to always make sure that that someone hasn't been talking to someone else, because it just stinks to be on the other end of that, and lose a customer or an ambassador that you've really been pouring time and effort into. So okay, last chance. Okay. Well, if you guys think of anything else, definitely send me a message. And I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your evening. I'm sure you guys are all just have a million other things to do. So I just love that you guys are on here and that you're pouring into your businesses. And I do really hope that these were helpful tips to you. And definitely go back and watch the original YouTube video. I think it'll be really helpful to you guys. And for sure get that book too. That'll be really, really practical tips for you. So anyway, thank you guys all so much. And just want you to know that I do pray for our team, and just pray for you guys to be bold and confident, and be blessed by this business, and that the Lord would bring the right people to our team. So I remember my sister-in-law, who I said is my sponsor, I remember her saying that she just prays that the Lord would bring the right people to our team. And so I just, I love that phrase, because I think that that's just very true. So anyway, everyone have a good evening, and hope to see you all on here next Thursday. I don't have my notes in front of me, otherwise I would tell you what I'm talking about next Thursday, but sorry, you'll have to just keep an eye out. You're welcome, you guys. Have a good evening, everybody. Good night.
Night.